Thank you for the purchase of your new Hilleberg tent. This film is a supplement to the instruction booklet. We recommend that you both read the booklet carefully as well as practice handling the tent before your first backcountry trip. While pitching the tent, make it a habit to work in a kneeling position and to always put away loose bags so they don't blow away. It's also important to secure the tent against the wind to your backpack or elsewhere with one of the guy lines. Place the ground pegs in your pocket as they need to be close at hand while pitching the tent. Lay the tent on the ground and secure the 6 corners with ground pegs. Press the ground pegs down at a 45-degree angle until only the top of the peg remains visible. Otherwise, the peg risks being pulled out with the onset of heavy wind. If you can't get them in on the ground by hand, then push or hammer them down with a stone, but do not step on them. If the tent is pitched in snow or sand, the Hilleberg snow and sand pegs can replace the 12 ground peg that is included with your Soulo. For maximum longevity and durability of your tent poles, it's important that you're careful with them and that you put together one section at a time. Make sure that the segments are properly seated and that they don't drift apart while pitching the tent. A small gap can lead to pole breakage. Never throw the poles out of the bag. They can be damaged and scratches can later lead to cracks in the poles. We have chosen the best poles on the market for our tents, but it is a lightweight product that requires proper handling. Otherwise, the poles may break and can lead to a dangerous situation. Place the poles into the short pole sleeves and make sure they are seated completely. The pole sleeves are color-coded to make it easy to get each pole into its correct corresponding sleeve. The pole sleeves are designed so you can use 2 poles. This increases the stability and strength of the tent in extreme weather conditions. To make the tent even more secure, wrap the guy lines around the poles. Make sure the guy lines are in their longest setting and that they are placed, giving the tent optimal wind support. Do get into the habit of pegging out all guy lines even though the Soulo is a fully freestanding tent. You never know when the weather will change. Now attach the clips to the poles. If you're using double poles, attach them to every other clip. In windy weather, it's a good idea to walk around the tent while you attach the clips so that the tent walls are raised to the same height. The vent cover is easily attached using 2 hooks. In beautiful weather, you can remove the hooks and fold up the vent cover for maximum ventilation, but do not release the other 2 attachment points. Securely tighten the vent cover by pulling the strap at the attachment points. The door flap of the outer tent can be rolled up completely and attached to the pole with a clip. During nice weather, this is a great way to maximize ventilation. Make sure the door panel does not drag on the ground as dirt and sand will shorten the lifespan of the zipper. The side of the inner tent has a zip-open hatch leading to an opening covered with no-seam mesh. For maximum ventilation, the hatch should be opened completely and fastened with elastic and a toggle. Above the outer tent entrance is a large adjustable vent. The fabric is water resistant and ventilates even when it is closed. The zipper that regulates the vent can easily be reached from the inside. By removing all or part of the inner tent, you can create a larger inner space. A pole holder kit for the Soulo is an optional accessory that makes it easy to set up the inner tent by itself. Remember that even though the inner tent is water repellent, it is not waterproof. It should only be used in dry and warm conditions where there's no risk of rain. In order to take down the tent, repeat every step of the tent assembly process, but in reverse. Check and clean any soiled ground pegs so that they're in good shape for the next time you use them. And make sure that the tent is always fastened to your backpack or a similar anchor. Detach the clips from the poles, and in windy weather do go around the tent and loosen the clips from upwards to downwards so that all the tent walls have approximately the same height. Ensure that all the guy lines are fully extended in order to facilitate the next occasion you set up your tent. If you do not immediately place the poles in their bag, then they should be placed somewhere where no one will step on them. As you remove and fold up the poles, check if any of them have been damaged. Then put them, along with the ground peg bag, into the pole bag. Fold the tent and roll it up together with the pole bag in the middle and put it into the tent bag. Alternatively, you can store the ground peg bag and pole bag separately. If you want, you can stuff the tent down into the tent bag instead of folding it, but then you should pack the poles and pegs separately. Never store a wet tent for a long time. Hang it up to dry as soon as you can, preferably with the poles in place so that the fabrics are kept apart. We do welcome you to visit Hilleberg.com, where you can see our entire collection and learn more about your tent. You can also find out more about Hilleberg the Tent Maker, including our history, philosophy, and how we make our tents. Find out about expeditions that use Hilleberg tents and locate a dealer near you. You will also find information, equipment lists, and practical advice that can help you in planning your next backcountry trip.